My name is Victor Coleman, and the title of my new book is The Occasional Troubadour. It was inspired by the 60th birthday of a good friend of mine, a photographer, writer, teacher, David Hlynsky, and he invited me to his birthday party, and I came and I wrote a mesostic for him, and I used as my source text a 2-volume book called The Troubadours at Home, which was written by Justin Harvey Smith, published in 1898. And the text is in English, but it's about the Provençal troubadours. So essentially it's scanning a bunch of text and using the mesostic and hanging the text on that mesostic. I hadn't intended to do 52 of them, but I framed the first one, gave it to Hlynsky at his birthday party. It was a wonderful party. I saw a lot of people I hadn't seen for years. And about 3 hours into the party, and no doubt we had all had a few drinks by that point, David came out and insisted that I come in the house and read the poem to the assembled people in his living room, which I did. And I looked up and David was in tears. He said that it was the closest anyone had ever gotten to him in a verbal portrait. The book has got 52 different portraits in it, and of very close friends, people who maybe have just passed, and then culture heroes. People, one day I was watching Turner Classic Movies, and it was John Wayne's birthday. So immediately I went and wrote a mesostic for John Wayne. So the same for Howard Hawks. And then one day I was thinking, one of my big influences in my writing and life, I guess, would be a certain kind of comic performer. And so I did mesostics for Ernie Kovacs, Bob Elliott and Ray Goulding. So it's kind of all over the map in terms of the portraiture. I'm hiding the identity. So when you read this book, you'll just see a number and a text. And you go to the index and you'll see who it's about. Somebody who loves any kind of language play. If you're into puns, if you're into off-the-wall humor, like Ernie Kovacs or Bob and Ray or the Goons or Monty Python or something like that, you'll get a lot more out of it. If you're reading it thinking, well, what is this about? Then you're not my ideal reader, because it's really not about, it's for. I asked my friend David Bolduc if I could use his drawn portraits of writers and musicians to illustrate the book. And he agreed, and I think it's going to be a damn handsome volume. So I've been interested in the troubadours for a long time, starting with a friendship that I had with a translator of the troubadours in the 50s named Paul Blackburn, American poet from New York City, who I went to visit when I was about, 19, 20. And we became friends, and I would see him quite frequently. And he did Robert Creeley published his first translations in a book called Provenza, and Sid Corman published a lot of them in Origin, and they're just gorgeous translations. So over the years, I've read the troubadours in various ways. So when I saw that this book existed, I was taken by the title, and I thought of it as a tongue-in-cheek kind of thing, because it almost sounded like a Kitty Kelly title, The Troubadours at Home. Or I could sort of imagine Edward R. Murrow having him on his TV show in the early 60s. But the book was actually quite good, and it really covered the minutiae of their lives and some of the more mundane aspects of their lives. And so I thought it would make a fabulous palette for portraiture. And sure enough, it did.